Hi guys, welcome to another video. We're going to continue on with Tales from the Crypt. This is season 3, episode 2. It's called Carion Death. It's one of my favorite episodes of all time there, top 10. Released June 15th, 1991. It's about 26 minutes long. It's interesting, the director of this episode is Stephen E. D'Souza. He's more of a screenplay writer for a lot of big movies like Die Hard 1 and 2, 48 Hours, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Street Fighter with Van Damme, many movies he's written. And it's a small cast. I love the cast though. I love the main actor, Kyle MacLachlan. I mean, you may remember him from a lot of David Lynch movies and Twin Peaks, the show. He was in his first ever movie was Dune, the original Dune. And then they did Blue Velvet together and Twin Peaks. Season 1 and 2, then Fire Walk with Me, the movie he appeared in, and then of course season 3 released a couple years ago, 30 years after season 2. It was awesome. I
own all 3 seasons.
Love Twin Peaks. So yeah, Kyle MacLachlan's always a fun actor, and in Showgirls he plays quite a different character, So yeah, he's been in so many things, still to this day he's still acting. And there's another actor for a few minutes there, but I mean, he's present throughout the whole film there, but it's the cop. And his real name is George Del Hoyle. He's more of a TV actor. Yeah, he's great in this episode for what he brings. And he does a lot of voice work, some video game stuff. Oh yeah, and there's one other character I forgot, of course, the vulture that's always present, waiting for someone to eat. So yeah, there's pretty much 3 cast members, the 2 guys and the vulture. So it starts off, Kyle MacLachlan is an escaped convict. And we start off, we're somewhere in the desert, a small little town before, close to the
Mexican border. That's where he's making his run to.
But we stop off, right off at the beginning, he stops off in this town and he's robbing a bank or whatever it seems. He shoots someone. So he's just a real bad guy, in the show. And he's taken off down the road. I love all the filming locations around this desert, isolated area. It's just a fun little show. It's very simple, not much acting really required. But it's just a fun episode. I've always enjoyed this one since I was a kid. I don't know. And so he's on his way after, he thinks he's home free or whatever, and he hears on the radio, about himself escaping from jail.
And
what he's done, he murdered 3 nursing students or something like that. So yeah, we get a little sense of this guy's background, and we just seen him kill someone for some money. So yeah, this guy's up to no good. He's heading towards the border, and then sure enough, our second actor there, the cop, he's like, he starts pulling, he's on one of those cop bikes. So he starts pulling closer behind them. So, Kyle MacLachlan's getting a bit worried about this, nervous, and but the cop doesn't call in for backup, nothing. He just starts shooting at Kyle MacLachlan,
And
so yeah, he's able to kind of bump into the cop, so he gets knocked over. But he gets a little head start after that. But the cop jumps right back on his bike, and sure enough, he's coming at him again. So Kyle MacLachlan decides to play a game of chicken with the old guy. So he does a U-turn, starts driving towards the cop. They're shooting at each other. And sure enough, he shoots the tire out of the bike, and the cop goes flying, and whatever, we think he's dead or whatnot, or even, Kyle MacLachlan thinks he's dead. And, but while he's still in the car after he sees the cop went off it's not like a cliff or anything, it's just like, the little ditch area. He sees the cop bike still in motion, coming towards the car, so it smashes up his car and blows up and everything. So he's on foot now, and we see the vulture. He lands on the car and everything, and he's like, "You hungry? There's someone down there." And he just starts making his way to the border by foot, And there's it's starting to get hot. He has a few bags of money on him, no food, no water. So he sees a sign that's knocked over, for a place, come in, cold beer.
whatever.
So he tries, it's like 2 miles away. So he tries, to get there. And when he does get there, it's abandoned, it's like it's like, it used to be like a last stop, before you get to Mexico, I guess. Cause I mean, there's nothing else for miles, so, but this place looks abandoned. It looks like it's been closed up for years. And yeah, so when he gets there, he's looking, there's a sink there, the water's not working. There's an old freezer, it says like ice cold drinks. He opens that, there's nothing except for this like rusty, dirty can. So yeah, it's been a long time that, this place has been empty. So yeah, he's like, but at least he's in the shade, it looks really hot out there. And then sure enough though, the cop, he shows back up and yeah, well, there's a few scenes in between, where he's like on his trail and everything, whatnot. But then the cop shows back up where he is because he kind of follows his trail, and this is where it kind of gets a bit cheeseball, but still whatever, Like the cop, he's right behind him, Like the cop McLaughlin doesn't even see him. Could have had his gun out, freeze, don't move, or I'm gonna, he was already shooting at him. He has no problem killing him. So just say freeze, you want to take him in alive, no problem, This guy, he has to grab Kyle McLaughlin, turn her around, and, he gives him a chance to,
Hold the gun away and
whatever, they're friggin' bumping into the walls, getting shot around, and, yeah, so the gun gets, dropped on the floor, and they're still fighting it out. But during like the little scuffle there, the cop's able to handcuff himself to Kyle McLaughlin. His name is Diggs in the episode. So yeah, so he's like, he's gonna bring him in, he's got him. But Kyle McLaughlin got the gun right beside him, so he pulls it on the cop and he finishes him off there, But while the cop is dying, he takes out the handcuffs key and he swallows it before he dies, so he's like staying cuffed to him, And this is some bit of, there's some cheesy moments here too. Like I would have stayed, like, there's no panic. You didn't have to start running just yet. He's in a shaded, abandoned little building, stay out of the sun for a little bit. This is the only cop that knew he was there. This cop didn't call for backup. He's stuck, he doesn't have the key. There's no bullets left in the gun, of course. So he decides to pick up the cop and put him on his shoulders because he sees a sign 6 miles to, Mexico. He's like, oh, 6 miles, no problem. Like 6 miles is tough enough walking just in that heat, like, so he picks up like a guy that's well over 200 pounds, has him on his shoulders, and just like, yeah, starts walking, through the heat. I would have waited. I know you're on the run and everything, but I mean, okay, if you don't want to wait until the sun starts going down a bit, maybe there's got to be something in that place. He could have chopped the guy, the cop's hand off. You're not going to carry this guy on your shoulders, But again, it's a fun episode, and it's kind of like tongue in cheek, Like it's fun because he's got the cop with him, although he's dead, and Kyle McLaughlin's going a bit delirious from the heat and everything. So it's like he has someone to talk to, kind of thing, So while he's walking, he's talking to the guy, and he's cracking jokes and being goofy and all that stuff. So there are a lot of fun moments that come from that, Like if you just, don't care that, maybe he could have found, like that can, for instance, that he found in the freezer. That looked like a strong old can. It looked rusty, Like he could have maybe cut off the guy's hand with that. And then, anyways, he gets very close. Well, the vulture too is always present. He's waiting, And yeah, so we get very close to the Mexican border, so he knows it's just up that hill, So he carries the cop up the hill, and you can see like his vision's going blurred and everything, but he says, "Oh God, we made it!" He's like laughing with the dead cop and everything. But the weight of the cop like goes backwards and like drags him down the cliff, So he's like, okay, I gotta cut this guy's arm off, Like again, too, you walked all that way with this dead body. Were you just gonna expect to like walk into Mexico with a dead cop on your shoulders, handcuffed? I mean, you had to get this guy's hand off, like way before this whole thing. But like I said, it makes for a good time with all the goofy comments that he says and everything throughout the show. Anyway, but now he thinks, okay, I'll grab a little piece of wood, get the cop's badge. He sharpens the badge with a rock. But again, his eyesight's getting blurry. He's, he's thirsty. He's like dehydrated, everything. Me too. So he goes. He's like, he goes to cut the guy's hand off, and he cuts his by accident. I guess double vision. He wasn't seeing right, and yeah. So he's there. It's gross. His hand's like split right here. Ah. They go flying some more, and he's like hanging off a cliff. Well, it's not. It's a cliff, but I mean, yeah, maybe it's like 15 feet drop or something, And you just see it like splitting, and then it just pops off. So he falls to his, well, not his death yet, but he's like completely paralyzed and lying there with his neck broken. And then, of course, the vulture sees this, I guess the vulture didn't want the cop, I guess he really had his eyes on Diggs there, Colin McLaughlin. So finally, Colin McLaughlin's just like laid out, sprawled out. He's screaming. He's paralyzed. He's got no hand. His neck is busted. I mean, he's in rough shape. He's done for. Can't even move. So yeah, sure enough, the vulture comes swooping down. This is scary, boy. Oh my God, vultures are scary. And yeah, he plucks his eyes out, and that's kind of like our ending shot. It's just like it pans out, and the vulture's just eating away at Colin McLaughlin. Yeah, it's a pretty fun episode, though. All in all, it's one of my top 10s. Always enjoyed this one. Like I said, there are some cheesy moments, but I mean, the show, it's based on cheese and just good times. It can't be taken too seriously. So yeah, but a great episode. And if you haven't seen this one in a long time, I suggest go rewatch this one. It's on you. A lot of full episodes are on YouTube if you don't own the series. Anyways, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.
Going up. In the office, baby.